Okay, this is part 3 of making a pin. This is the finish. This is the rough finish. It's going to be made out of super glue. You know, different names for it. CA glue is what a lot of people call it. If you're just starting to make pins, then this will be the first time you've seen something about the super glue finish. You have to have this stuff here. Activator, dryer, whatever you would like to call it. About $10 for a can about this big, and you have to have it because you'd be waiting hours in between coats. So what you do is you get your piece here, whether it's wood or acrylic or whatever, on your lathe, and you want to hand turn it like this. You don't want to turn it on. A lot of guys turn them on. Maybe those are advanced people. I don't know. Maybe it works better for them. I don't know. But you take your glue, and this is a pretty thick glue, a pretty thick super glue. And you just run the glue all over it till it starts to want to run. And then you take your gloved finger, of course you want to have gloves on, and rub the glue into the whatever you're working on. Well, this is wood again. And get it all nice and smooth like that, so it's not dripping or anything. And then you take your activator, you spray it on real light and quick, and it instantly makes the super glue dry. And that's what you want, because right now I can start sanding on it because it's ready to go. It's that quick. And then you just want to take your glue and do the same thing again. Coat after coat after coat. You can put as many coats on as you want. It just makes the finish thicker. And you're going to be sanding on that finish. So you want it to be pretty thick to where you don't sand through the super glue. I know it sounds like a weird thing to put on something, a super glue finish. I never heard of it until I started making pins and started looking into it on YouTube and all. And there's a lot of different ways to do it, but I don't really put a whole lot into it. Like these bushings that I have in here, these are just the regular bushings. That's part of the pin kit or the project. And a lot of people say, well, get those CA bushings. They're some kind of plastic that doesn't stick to the super glue. Well, I used them, and I find that this works the same way. The only problem I have is when I take it apart, it's all fused together, but I can usually snap it at the end of the mandrel here, and that'll snap off the piece from all the super glue. Works good for me. And it works good for anybody else, but it's just the technique I have and it works. And then another issue I have is all the buildup on the bushings. And usually I'll just shave that off somehow. I'll turn the lathe back on, tighten down the bushings, and shave off the CA glue. So, whatever works for you. But this is a really nice finish. Once you get it down, if you do it a few times, you'll probably mess it up and make a big mess and swear you'll never do it again. But it's a super nice finish. I mean, it's like, there's depth to it, and it's really hard, and it probably lasts for quite some time. Like here, I think I've got about 3 or 4 coats on now. You see in between coats, you just put a little bit of the dryer on it. I might be using more than I'm supposed to, but it works. It leaves a little, I guess you'd call them zits or something on there. It's the chemical process of it drying up the super glue. Not a big deal. Just let them ride, and then you can sand them down here in a minute when you get ready to sand it again. But you'll sand it all the way down, and then you'll step through the micro mesh process, which I'll show here shortly. This is a process that only takes a few minutes. I'm all real-time video because I'm not real good with the video camera. I mean, just on my cell phone. And I don't take breaks or anything and splice videos or whatever together later. I just, one take, that's it. So, it's kind of how you do it. I'm going to put a few more coats on, and then next time I come back for the next part will be the micro meshing part. of the process. So we'll be back with that part later. A little closer look at it. And that's what it does. You'll see, looks real ugly and whatever, but it's completely dry and it's super hard. And that's what you're going to sand down to a super finish, like a glass finish. And again, it's really hard finish, real protective.